Welcome to All About the Experiences. Today is my 12th episode, so I guess I'm a preteen or almost a teenager. I have received so many messages and just really accolades from many of you listeners and just praising the guests and the content that we are highlighting each week. So I thank you for that. Last week was no different. I want to extend a huge thank you to last week's guest, Jasmine Kylene. She was our conscious media journalist and spiritual counselor. We all appreciated her warmth and light, and she brought to the platform. And aside from that, she left us with a little tidbit of something. And I believe Jasmine said it best when she said, "We give each other permission when we stand boldly in our power." Well, thank you, Jasmine, for being such a powerful influencer and sharing so much positivity with us. Jasmine, along with all of my guests, really inspire me through their willingness to share their stories and their experiences. And I know that each week I'm going to walk away with my tank full. And let's face it, in this climate that we have going on, it's needed. I want you all to share in this excitement, and I encourage you to tune in weekly and be inspired. Never miss an episode by subscribing to the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform by name, All About the Experiences. And you can get the latest brand updates by visiting the website, allabouttheexperiences.com. And if you just so happen wanting to reach out to me, you can email me at cheryl@allabouttheexperiences.com. And again, thank you for your continued support. Now, you are truly in for a treat today. Today's guest is just kind of one of those people that you meet and you're just instantly drawn to. She has been in the corporate sales and event industry for about 6 years and has a long-standing career in sales for 15 plus years. Her passion for the automotive industry and cars steered her to her first position at a dealership as an assistant to the sales and customer service manager. From there, her passion for creating an amazing experience for customers grew, and this passion eventually led her to her current role as a corporate sales manager at the BMW Performance Center West. She and I have connected at several industry events, and she is instrumental in convincing me to come to the desert in Thermal, California. And it was quite warm, but I enjoyed myself, I have to tell you. And I was there to find out what this BMW experience was all about. When I tell you, I now know what it's all about. Ooh, I cannot wait to get into this conversation. If you want a sneak peek, you can check out my February 14th entry of this year, pre-COVID, and find out what it was all about. If you look at the All About the Experiences, excuse me, I'm so excited, I can't barely get it out, Instagram page. This was an experience that I can certainly tell you I will not soon forget. She is instrumental at building lasting relationships with clients, and I happen to be one of them. I always say that I do the best business with friends, and she has quickly become definitely a dear friend. Without further delay, I am pleased to welcome Amanda White, corporate sales executive with the BMW Performance Center West. Amanda, welcome to All About the Experiences. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Are you kidding me? I have to tell you, we have run into each other at so many industry events, and we're just like magnets. We always make sure that we have to connect. Even if we don't have an appointment together, I make it a point to just touch base with you. And I'll never forget one of the last things, I think we were in Sacramento, you told me, you were like, "You just have to come, Cheryl, you have to come and check it out." And I have to tell you, I came and the whole experience didn't disappoint whatsoever.
Yeah, that was, you were one of the first people I actually met at my very first SMART meetings. And I was so nervous when I got there because it was the first one and everybody kind of knew each other and we were new there.
Right.
And when you came to my table, you were like, the day was kind of jumbled because they had some issues because of fire. So yes. You were one of my first appointments that who knows were we supposed to be an appointment. And You were like, I'm so excited to be at your table right now. And I was like, oh, I just remember like you left and I breathed this big sigh of relief. Like, thank God she was so nice. And it kind of set the tone for the rest of the day for me. So, you know, that connection has been very mutual.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, isn't it funny, like when you you walk into these events and there's this sea of unknown people and you know that you're going to become friends by the end of the day, but you never know, and you never know what other people's energy is going to be like. But I have to tell you, I gravitate to you each and every time. And you are just simply wonderful. I have to brag on you a little bit.
Thank you.
Let me just tell you all this. So Amanda convinces me, she's like, you have to come out, you have to check us out. I know that you do. Everybody knows what my day job is. I'm a corporate events manager, but you were like, you got to bring your team out here, but you have to come out first so you'll know what you're speaking to. And I'm just like, okay. And so you sent over a list of dates that you had available, and one of them happened to be on Valentine's Day. And I'm just like, ooh, wouldn't I win the Stellar Award for Spouse of the Year if I did this on Valentine's Day? And lo and behold, you were like, absolutely. Bring you and your husband out here. I want you guys to enjoy and experience. And when I tell you, I am still on a high from that. And that happened in February 14th of this year. And I think I'm probably up for Spouse of the Year because of that. So number one, thank you. And that just speaks to the wonderful time that we had. And we were with a group of people who, it was my first time meeting them as well in our class. And it was just wonderful. There was such a camaraderie between all of us. We're having this exhilarating experience, and I walked away with at least 15 new friends from that. So thank you for that. It was an amazing Valentine. So you were my Valentine too that day, by the way.
Yeah. You and Dominic were my Valentines that day too.
Thank you. Well, let's just get into it. I first want to ask, I know I gave a bit of a bio, if you will, on you in the introduction, but tell me like how you got your start. And I'm like, what is your love of cars and what car do you drive? There's 3 questions I know, but I need to know all of that.
So my love of cars started from my dad. He's always been into cars and always had something in the garage that he's kind of tinkering with or fixing. Nothing's ever, good enough as it comes, right?
Right.
So a lot of the pictures of me when I'm young with my dad, you'll find us in the driveway working on a Volkswagen Beetle or, picking something up. And some of my favorite memories with him are driving from here to San Diego to pick up a motor for a car that he's working on, or driving out, up north to pick something else for something else he's doing. And so that really drove my passion.
Okay.
And then he got involved in the race side of things a little bit. With Mini USA, actually, he helped build a drag car for them. Wow. And seeing the brand's passion for racing and kind of what its heritage really is, and the reason that we call BMWs the ultimate driving machine, really fueled me to want more. And so I was already working at a Mini dealership at that point, selling Minis, which was actually my first car also, was a Mini Cooper.
Very nice.
And then it kind of just grew from there. How I started in the industry, I really fought it hard, actually. As much as I loved cars, I wanted to teach. And so I went in for service and I was offered a position as an assistant. And I said no, probably 4 or 5 times to their sales manager before I finally was like, fine, I'll do it part-time. And then the rest is history. And then I found my home at the Performance Center, and it felt like home. It felt like the place I was supposed to be, selling a product that I loved and giving people that experience. Exactly what you said about making new friends during our class is my favorite thing that happens, whether it's a company that's bringing their team out or perfect strangers off the street. The bond you walk away with is unforgettable.
For sure. 100%.
And I drive a 330 all-wheel drive.
Wow. So I have to tell you all this. I get there and I was very fortunate. Amanda, her hospitality extends, I mean, much like how you see her here on this platform, she went out of her way to make us feel comfortable. I can just tell you this, when you first arrive, you're taken back by the enormity of how big the facility is, how amazing it is. And let me just tell you this too, ladies, there is a store on site, so you can buy some swag. And I won't want to spoil it completely, but I have to say at the end, I was very pleasantly surprised when you all gave us swag bags full of merchandise that we can only get if you participate and you come out and you're there at Thermal, and they're unique to that facility. And so, yeah, I wish I would have had my hat on.
It's your badge of honor.
It totally is. It
Yeah.
totally is.
It's nice. My favorite is you see people walking down the street with them. And like when you randomly see one in the wild, you know they've done something cool that you've done. And even though I'm there all the time, I still get excited when I see one.
It's exciting. And it's just like, it's so crazy because like, like I'm always on social media and I'm posting, and it was so funny. I went ahead and I was posting and I hashtagged it, and I noticed like, my All About the Experiences page is open. And so I started getting more traffic as a result of that. And it's just like, I want one of those. And I'm just like, and one guy, he was just like, I'm a BMW owner, I would love one of those. And I'm just like, well, you got to go. And I'm just going to kind of segue into that. If you are a BMW owner, and correct me if I'm wrong, can you bring your BMW out to race on your tracks there?
No. So that's one of the unique things. And it's actually nice. We have a full suite of new models. So if you have a newer model, you can drive a like model typically.
Gotcha.
But that way you don't have to worry about tires, fuel, any of that stuff. There's no added cost or real, risk associated with needing to have other, repairs on your vehicle, like brakes and things like that.
So you guys are looking out for us and providing fun. Gotta love it. Well, I have to tell you, I was thinking to myself by the end of the day, I was just like, how many tires must you all go through? Because we were burning rubber out there all day long.
A lot. We're fortunate enough to be sponsored by Continental, so they supply us with enough tires to fuel us and our East Coast facility for the year.
Tell us about the East Coast facility.
Our East Coast facility is completely different than West Coast while we run the same programs. Their location is at our manufacturing plant in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So Plant Spartanburg actually produces every single X vehicle for the world. So if you see an X3, an X5, an X7 out in the wild, it came out of Plant Spartanburg.
Wow.
BMW uniquely, as a German brand, is the largest exporter of SUVs in the United States.
That's incredible.
And so yeah, it's such a fun location. They have the factory tours. You can actually take delivery of your BMW at that location.
Oh.
They'll go through, you'll drive a like model in a program similar to what you did actually. Okay. And then immediately following that, you get lunch and you get a full delivery of your vehicle. And that's included free of charge with your purchase, actually. You just have to request it.
That is amazing. Okay, let me just speak to lunch because it's around lunchtime now. And the food that you all supply is Michelin. I'm telling you, the food was amazing. So you're all throughout the day. And one thing I have to say this too, let me just go back. I appreciate you keeping us hydrated because we stayed hydrated the whole day. But the food was amazing. Chef was amazing. And I was just like, okay, can this day continue to get any better? But you're out on the track, you're racing, you're trying, like you said, the newest BMWs that are out there, and you're building these unique friendships and relationships. And then at the end of all this, when you're just all, worked up and everything, you get to come in and you have this amazing meal, and we're talking about our experiences. And then on top of that, you guys come out and you present us with these swag bags full of stuff that you can't even get anywhere else. And it's like you said, it's your badge of honor. You don it and you're like, I wore that, my badge and my little bag with me. And I think when we left from you all, we were heading back and we stopped off to go eat and we both had it on and people were asking us in the restaurant, where did you get that? I was just like, oh, let me tell you. And it's so exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah, I'm fortunate that I have a place that's so fun to talk about, considering that's what I do for a living is talk.
Now that's when you know work is fun, and it's so needed. And I know that right now we're all in the midst of working, you know, whether it's from home or doing a hybrid, working at work and working at home. But when I think about being able to reflect on that memory from earlier this year, it just gives me all the feel goods, and it makes me excited about us all moving forward and getting back into the groove and swing of things.
Yeah.
I want to kind of talk about, I know that my whole reason, not only just because you extended such a generous offer to me to coming out, but was really to get an idea of what my executive leadership team would experience coming out, you know, to experience this and also to build that synergy amongst the team. Can you talk to us a little bit about what those programs look like?
Yeah, so the unique thing about all of our programs is they're customized to the group's wants and needs. So we have meeting space if they want to do meetings in the morning and driving in the afternoon, which is our recommendation because the reverse of that doesn't usually work.
No.
People are way too excited. They've got way too much adrenaline. So driving second, it's kind of a good seal to the day. Absolutely. Especially if you're having tough meetings, right? So we do half day and full day programs, and we really ask what their goals are. Are you looking to build leadership? Are you looking to just, you know, build your team camaraderie? What are your goals? Are you entertaining clients? Are you rewarding salespeople? And then we can build a program from there. My favorite programs to build are incentive trips because they're people that are like-minded to myself. It's a bunch of salespeople who are way too competitive for their own goods. And we can get them out there and have them do timed runs, which you did. And then we announce the top 3 times at the end. And the more competitive the groups are, the more our instructors play off of that. And they'll start, you know, giving people some jabs here and there and kind of just building that entire experience that they're having from rotation to rotation. And then when we hand out awards, we let them know when they get the timesheet for the top time to make sure they photocopy it and pass it around the office so everybody knows they won top time, because our experience doesn't stop just because you're not at our facility anymore. There's still an opportunity. You've got a medal or a rat to take home if you won rat race. So it's nice that we can kind of tailor that to what you guys are looking for, really. And size of the group. We're very flexible. Anything is, you know, from very small, like 5 or 6, all the way up to well over a couple hundred guests.
Wow. I have to tell you too, I was really pleasantly surprised when you say meeting space. It's amazing. And even when you think in terms of how we're all kind of social distancing right now, you have that capability. There's lots of meeting space to be had. And it comes with all the technology that you need. You literally can come in and plug and play and run your meeting and take care of everything. You feel inspired because, like you said, I don't think it would work in reverse, because I know how I was just so full of energy afterwards that I just wanted to share it with everybody. But I agree with you. It's wonderful to go ahead and, you know, take care of the meeting first and then get out there and really start that team building experience too.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to mention, just the welcome or the onboarding, if you will. You come in, there's beverages. I love that whole coffee beverage refreshment thing that you have going on downstairs. I was just like, I didn't know if that was the highlight. I was here for that too. I always think I'm a little bit of a barista in my other life, if you will. But I was really excited about that. But then you get your badge, and it has your name on there, and the BMW Performance Center, and so you know you're official then. And then what I really enjoyed was you truly get some real behind the wheel experience, but you also get that education before you go out about safety. And I have to tell you, I look when I'm driving, my husband always teases me that he's just like, oh, this is nothing new to you. This is how you are on the 805. And I'm like, yes, but I'm a little bit more cautious now. And a lot of the things that the instructors gave us, it made me think more strategically when I am behind the wheel. And I do rely on those. And I have to tell you, it makes a huge difference in how you maneuver, especially when you see things. I can remember I was coming back from Carlsbad a few weeks ago, and there was a big tire in the road, and maybe I would have missed it because it was towards dusk. But I remember one of the instructors told me about looking ahead and, you know, being cognizant of what's happening, and you're able to maneuver. And I did. I missed that. Now, I'm not saying necessarily was all about that BMW experience, but it stuck with me. And that's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to that. So,
You know, I had a similar experience. So in addition to our retail school, our corporate events, we do retail schools that are the same every time. They have a specific curriculum, anything from a teen school to an adult M school. And while they vary vastly in what exactly is taught, the common theme through all of that is vision. And I was taught very early on when I started to drive that your vision is important and to look as far ahead as possible, because everything happens further ahead than the car right in front of you.
mm-hmm.
But when that was reiterated, when I did our 2-day car control school, when I started, I remember being on the 91 freeway on my way out to work, and a 4-wheel dolly fell off of the truck in front of me. And we were in the fast track lane. So we were doing 80. And I remember looking at this dolly that's rolling towards me thinking, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And I remember changing lanes right, changing lanes back left, and thinking, oh, wow, I did that in my car control clinic.
Wow.
Thank God. And like, I knew that I paid attention, but it really brought awareness to why you're paying attention and what changes when you're not paying attention, because we all know most people are distracted while they're driving most days.
Absolutely. You know, the interesting thing was, and I had to tell you, when we were actually out on the track and I was learning about, I thought I knew all about driving, but going into straightaways and how you handle curves and things like that. And like, obviously in California, we don't get much inclement weather, but I can think about, had I known these things when I lived back on the East Coast in Virginia, that would have been so helpful, you know, because I had a couple of spin outs on occasion. But I think having those kind of defensive driving skills would have made a world of difference for me. So I'm thankful that I do have that in my, you know, plethora of things that I'm doing when I'm on the road now. So I appreciate and thank you all for that. And can I just give a shout out to all the instructors? They are amazing. They're fun. They're amazing. They're serious about what they do. They're serious about safety. But beyond that, you have so much fun.
We're lucky. You know, you really, I don't call them coworkers anymore. They're all my friends. Like, we really are this team that just kind of comes together for those very reasons. They're as concerned with keeping my group safe as I am. They're as concerned with them having a good time as I am. And we can match each other's pace and each other's, you know, hospitality in different ways. We each have our own strengths. And, you know, obviously theirs is the driving. I've never been a professional driver.
Right.
I'd like to think I'm pretty good, but, you know, I'm not a professional. And that's the other thing. They're all very humble. All of our instructors have a professional race background. They're not just somebody who drives pretty well. They've all raced professionally or are currently racing professionally. So there's a ton of talent in that group. In addition to you know, in addition to some of their humor and all of that, they're all great.
They're all fantastic. And I love that the confidence, because there were some folks that were in a group that were like, oh, I'll let my partner go, they can go. But by the end of the day, everyone had gotten behind the wheel and done racing, and they tried different vehicles, and it was just they know how to pull. You have some folks that are like me, that are a little overzealous and they couldn't wait to get behind the wheel and get out there and burn rubber, and then you had some folks that were a little bit more standoffish. But by the end of the day, we were all rooting each other on. We were all excited. We were talking about, oh, you got to try this when you get into this car. And, you know, it was just really a fantastic day. And again, I walked away with about 15 brand new friends, not including the instructors, I'm sorry, and the staff, but it was just a great day. It was a great day to be had, and especially on Valentine's Day. And then it kind of put me, you know, in the cool point list. So I thank you for that as well.
Dominic owes you for next year.
Yes, he does. Big time. Absolutely. It was absolutely a wonderful experience. Can we talk a little bit about the facility itself?
Yeah.
I know that you took me in one of the vehicles and we went around, but I would love for you to share with the listeners the amazing facility, but all the work that goes into it, safety measures, and anything else that you would be willing to share with us.
Yeah, so our location is quite unique. We're located at the Thermal Club, which is a private motorsports facility. So if you think of any of the great golf clubs that are in the desert, which there's lots of them, and take out the golf courses, put in racetracks. So we have 3 fully certified racetracks. They can combine for just about 5 miles of track space.
Wow.
We have an off-road course. They have a member go-karting area. And then we have the BMW driver training area that has a black lake. It's got a polished concrete skid pad, which is where you were saying about learning, you know, in inclement weather.
Yes.
Our track can be configured in many different ways to achieve many different things. Our black lake is fully customizable, but the most unique thing is that we're the public's link to the facility. Membership is required to be on property. So there's a guard gate when you enter.
Yes.
Which is nice. It gives groups this exclusivity that, you know, they couldn't just walk in and do what they're doing with their company. It's something that they've handpicked, hand-selected, and been put on a list to be able to get in, you know, even through our guard gate.
Right.
And once you enter the guard gate, I mean, you see we're sitting on 600 acres with homes lining the racetrack. And when I say homes, I mean, they're huge. They're $1 million mansions with
amazing
2,700 square foot garages that are full of cars, mind you.
Yes.
You see our huge fleet of BMWs and Mini Coopers. We have well over 100 cars in our fleet. And at any point driving around property, if members are there, you'll see no shortage of unbelievable cars, whether it be something vintage or something modern like a McLaren P1. You know, it's an unbelievable facility. We have a mechanic on site. So anytime anything happens, we have repairs, you know, available if we need to change tires, because we do go through them a lot. We're able to do that on property. And then we do have access to one of the thermal tracks 300 days out of the year. So there's a good chance if you're there with us and your company wants to do it, we can get you out there on the big track hitting triple digit speeds.
Wow. Well, I have to tell you, I don't know that I hit triple digits, but I'm going to tell you the digits that I did hit, it was amazing. And it's, again, exhilarating is the word that comes to mind. One of the things I was going to ask you about, just this is the event planner side of me, are there branding opportunities, let's say that we're doing a private event for our team?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a few different events we host throughout the year that do some co-branding. We've had some that have purchased shirts from our gift shop and added their logo on it. Okay. We've done some car co-branding. If you want to supply us with stickers or whatever it is, we can have those put on the car as long as it doesn't affect our graphics. But that way they're in all your photos. If you want to put up banners or anything in the cafe while you're there, you're welcome to do that as well.
Awesome. Well, I have to tell you, I mean, you know, I'm a lady who enjoys a little shopping. And when I tell you, there's some great shopping there on site, which was really nice. And I mean, again, you sent us home with an amazing swag bag, but even as far as having little BMWs for the kids, and I'm not talking about ones that they push with their hands, ones that they actually get in. So cute. I was just like, I wanted to take one of those home with me.
I know. They even have a little iPod connector so they can play their music and put their sippy cup in the cup holder.
I can't. It's just too adorable. Makes me want, well, maybe not. But yes, makes me want to do it all over again.
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah, no. Mine are almost, grown and out of the house. So, you know, to start over now, it might be a little difficult, but it definitely.
I'm pushing my sister. Like, can you have a kid now?
Right.
So that I can just buy them things, please?
And you know, the amazing thing is you guys have so many things that are available. And I was told that even if we looked on the website, and as well as, like you said, the co-branding aspect of it, I thought was absolutely amazing. And it makes that event even that much more special, you know, for your attendees. So
yeah, we try to appeal to everybody, right? The person who likes to drive, the person who likes to shop, and the person who likes to eat.
Yes.
For them all.
I was there for all of that.
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
Too.
Well, since we're talking about food and beverage, let me just brag on the food and beverage again. Everything was absolutely, again, stellar. Food delicious. And let me tell you, you work up an appetite throughout the day. You definitely work up an appetite. I love that you have refreshments that are available throughout the day. But I will say this, and I know folks will ask, you know how we are in hospitality, we like to have cocktails with everything. No, you cannot have cocktails before you go out there and you're on the Black Lake.
Not before.
On the facility. So maybe you might want to speak to that as well.
So we don't promote drinking and driving. So there will be no drinking before driving. However, we can host a full reception or dinner with full bar post-event. So we do that a couple ways. We can do wristbands so that we know once somebody's grabbed a drink, they're no longer able to get in a car. Or we just wait until all the driving is done and we set it up in our beautiful cafe and have a kind of fun reception there.
Absolutely. I think I recall this too. You have there's so much space that's there. So, and I think Amanda said it best when I was there. If there's anything that you can envision, they can make it happen. I can't foresee you coming up with an idea and not being able to see it through because there's so many possibilities that are there. And again, like you said, it's I would more liken you guys as a family. You guys work so well together and everybody is so attentive and takes care of everyone that's there and makes sure that everyone has a good time and that they're comfortable. And what I really loved was that educational component. I mean, I'm always a proponent of learning and learning more, but when you're able to do it in a fun environment, it sticks with you. Hence, hello, me on the 805.
Yeah. We put it out there. It's like, oh, you're coming out to have this really great fun day. Yes. But really we're like, it's kind of like school a little bit, except you're not going to realize that it was school until you got home and then it clicks. Oh, wow, absolutely. I learned this or I learned that.
Well, I have to ask you this. I know that obviously it's all about the BMW experience, but there is that hospitality component. And you're so good at what you do. So how did you get your hospitality start?
Honestly, it started when I was selling cars, really, is where I learned what creating an experience was for somebody. And I built my whole business selling cars around the experience I created and having a name in the business. So I realized early on that if you treat one person well, they'll tell a few friends. But if you treat one person poorly, they'll tell all their friends.
And go to social media.
Exactly. So I learned early on that, like, it's not hard to be nice. It's not hard to be kind to people. I know it, for some people, it seems that way. But I know what my expectation is and what my kind of level of personability expectation is with other people. So I just try to mimic what I would, what I would want to see. And early on, like I said, selling cars, I learned that, if you're kind to people, they don't just become customers, they become friends. And I have some of my best customers from my days of selling cars still text me or call me when they need a new car because they want to know who's going to treat them how I did. Yes. And that means everything to me. And so I've kind of just adapted that into what I'm doing now, and working in an industry that is very hospitality driven. Mm-hmm. It's nice. You go to a hotel, and that's one of the places I try to take away from the most, because that's what's ingrained in them, is that customer experience.
Oh, absolutely.
So when I look, like, I think I referred you to Hotel Paseo.
Yes, you did.
They're our host hotel. And when I went there for the first time, their welcome to me, the questions they asked me before I came, really opened my eyes to understanding how I tailor the experience and how I tailor what my hospitality looks like to the person I'm meeting with, versus it kind of just being this blanket, this is who I am and this is how I do things.
Right. I love that. Obviously I'm all about the experiences, but I think it is really important. I think, and I don't want to misquote her, but Maya Angelou said it best. It's like, people may forget what you said, but they're never going to forget how you made them feel. And I think if people really put an emphasis on that and make that kind of the pinnacle or the cornerstone, you're always going to have return and repeat customers, and it's exciting. It's exciting when I don't know about you, but I'm obviously a people person, but I also love to encourage and please people and make sure that their experiences are great. Because I think about me bringing my executive leadership team, and throughout the whole day, I'm like texting my boss, I'm like sending him pictures and video, and he's like, and that was just through the phone, not to mention what he will experience when he's there. And so if I've already got him on the hook, bringing him in, I can only imagine what it's going to be like when they get there. So yeah. I'm still looking forward to that.
I think it was Smart Meeting San Francisco when that the speaker got up about technology, and I think it was like hashtag you call that an experience or something like that, right?
Yes.
I remember him saying that and thinking of it in the positive way, you call that an experience, and the negative way, and thinking, I never want to be hashtag that experience in the negative way. Never in a million years. That was so eye-opening to me. So I really, have tried to focus in after that, because he was very inspirational with that.
Well, I can tell you that you draw a lot of inspiration from a lot of things, and a little birdie told me you're quite crafty and that you did something for your sister's 30th birthday. You've got to tell me about this.
Yeah. So my sister just turned 30 in August, and she was a little bit bummed about, turning 30 during quarantine and not being able to celebrate. And she's used to me throwing parties anyways. So, it was kind of this disappointment in not really being able to do much. So we did a small dinner in the backyard, just a few of us. I mean, very beautiful. But I was sitting in my house thinking, what can I do to make this something a little bit more for her?
Right.
And I thought of the one-ply toilet paper I accidentally bought back
when
toilet paper was hard to find.
Right.
And I got on my Cricut and I made this little toilet paper party favor for everybody. And I ironed on, it said Heather's 30th birthday, 2020, but the zeros were little toilet paper rolls, the year that got real.
Right.
And I put them on everybody's plate. Like the place setting had the menu and then the roll of paper towels on top. And, it was just the touch of like, yeah, this sucks that we're doing it, but
It's really shitty. Let's just call it out.
yeah, I mean, it's terrible, but we can still have fun. We can still celebrate, and we can still make it something memorable.
Absolutely. I think
Now
that
we all
is
have
so
toilet
sweet.
paper in our house.
Right. Well, the funny thing is now there's an overabundance of toilet paper, and you're like, I never understood that whole thing.
Yeah,
I never understood why all of a sudden everyone was wanting to get toilet paper. I was thinking, well, what do you think would happen? And then I was just like, let me not even go down that rabbit hole.
I remember, so my mom was in the hospital when this all started, literally the weekend before everything started shutting down. My mom had to have her gallbladder removed. And so it was sort of an emergency, unplanned. So when we left the hospital from picking my mom up, my dad had asked my sister and I to go grocery shop for them. And I remember walking through the grocery store, and I had heard, but I hadn't been out. So I didn't really know. There was no toilet paper. There was no meat. There were no canned goods. Like, it was just crazy. And my mom was like, well, then we all looked and we're like, oh, we have plenty of toilet paper. And then a couple weeks passed and we still couldn't find any. And I was like, oh, this is a real problem. This is serious. And then I found one.
Just hop in the shower. You'll be good.
Well, and then my mom's like, well, just go early in the morning. So this is how I ended up with the toilet paper that I used for these party favors. Because
who makes one-ply toilet paper?
I bought 20 rolls of it also. So I was like, went in the store and they had one like option. Yeah. And I was down to like 2 rolls. I was going to need it soon. So I grabbed the pack. I didn't pay any attention to it. And I got to my car and I was like, oh no, this is not what I need.
No, this is not what you were thinking it was going to be.
Yeah. And then toilet paper just randomly came back in stock and life was fine again. And my 20 packs are just hanging out for a bad day.
Well, we know where to go if we need some one-ply toilet paper.
Just let me know. I've got it.
You're going to be the first person I call, I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, this has been just wonderful. It's good to see you. I know I haven't seen you since Valentine's Day, but it's certainly good to see you and connect with you. But I also want to share with my listeners, because not only did you come to share with us about this amazing experience at BMW, but you're also being very generous and providing a gift valued at at $598 for a driving experience for a lucky listener and their guest. And so can you tell us a little bit about what they can come to expect if they win this amazing prize?
Yeah, definitely. So it's a 2-hour experience. It starts out with 2 different driving elements. You'll get to see our off-road course in the amazing X7 and kind of experience those features, which the X7 is one of my favorite models we have now. It's a true SUV with 7 seats, and it's unreal. And then you'll do performance drive, which you did, where you drive a mix of different cars. So you'll get to experience a little bit of everything from our smaller models, like maybe an M2, all the way up to some of our highest horsepower cars that we offer, like an M8 or an X5M. And you'll see how those SUVs really handle kind of anything that's thrown at them. They're not your typical grocery getter or soccer mom car. They're really an elevated soccer mom car.
Oh, for sure.
And then we'll close it out with that professionally driven hot lap. And that's where our instructor will get in probably one of the cars that you've driven for the day, maybe an M4, something like that. And they'll really take you around the track in a configuration you haven't seen, probably in a way you've never been around a racetrack before. Lots of smoke, but lots of smiles and an unbelievable amount of fun.
Yes. Okay, so if you go to my Instagram page, you will definitely see the hot lap. And I have to... You might need to censor it a little bit because there are a few little expletives that were said, but I have to tell you, It was so much fun, and I felt so comfortable because I'm in the car with a professional driver who's handling that wheel and also having fun with it, but also showing you how to take those that skill set that you learn throughout the day and apply it. I don't know that you'll be going on the 805 at those high speeds, but I will say this: it was an absolutely amazing experience, and I get more hits on that particular post because of that video. So I will say this: if you want to see, you can also go on their website, which is the BMW Performance Center.com. And I think it's /experiences, and you'll be able to see a video there. But also come to All About the Experiences Instagram page on my February 14th post. And you'll definitely see it was amazing. I had such an amazing time. And trust me, this is something that you will want to enter this giveaway. So let me tell you how to do it. You're going to want to go to the All About the Experiences Instagram page, as well as the All About the Experiences podcast page. I want you to follow and like both. And then what you're going to do is tag 5 of your besties. Let them fight over who's going to end up. When you win, they have to help you kind of decide which one of them you're going to bring. And so I'm sure you'll figure that out some way or another, or you'll get lots of gifts yourself, because they'll be wanting to try to one-up each other. I will say this, and you correct me if I'm wrong in this, they need to at least be 18 years old, correct?
18 with a valid driver's license.
Oh, yes. Please have a valid driver's license. And if you want a bonus entry in here, all you need to do is repost using the hashtag AllAboutTheExperiences podcast, as well as hashtag BMW Performance Driving School. And you will be entered into this amazing giveaway. I will say this: all entries need to be received by Thursday, September 17th at 11:59 p.m. And we're going to put all those names in a randomizer, and it will be selective. I will first reach out to the winner via direct message. And once they've been notified, then I'll go ahead and post on all of my social media platforms. And all I ask is that you all, whoever wins this amazing prize, make sure that you share this experience, you hashtag it, put it on your social media. I already know that you're going to want to, because let me tell you, as you can see, Amanda is here right now because I was just like, we've got to let people know about this experience. And, she has all the nuts and bolts and able to tell you behind the scenes information. But beyond that, I want all of my meeting planners that are out there, anybody who's looking to do some sort of an experience, and it doesn't even have to be in the hospitality way of things. If you're thinking a group of friends want to come together and do something like this, do it. Reach out to Amanda. And Amanda, how can they contact you, by the way?
My email address is amanda.white@bmwnaext.com, or you can call me at 424-297-4011.
You heard it here, folks. This is an experience that you'll definitely want to partake in. I know that I did, and I'm eager. I cannot wait to get my team back there. And again, if you want to see more information, go to bmwperformancecenter.com /experiences. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Amanda, I cannot thank you enough for coming onto my platform and sharing so much about not only BMW, but you. And like I said, I gravitate towards you every time I see you at an event. I feel like if I look up and I'm at one of our hospitality events and you're not there, I'm sad. So I'm so glad that I got to have you all to myself today and share with the listeners. But I want to ask you, is there anybody that you want to give a special recognition to, or anything else that you would like to share with our listeners?
I think right now, our team that's out there at the facility kind of crushing it to help us get, some social distancing and stuff.
Absolutely.
It's hot, and they're out there really working hard for those of us who are remote. So, our our logistics guys that kind of kill it every day and keep the cones on the track when you knock them off and all of that. They deserve the most recognition. So I'd like to tell those guys thanks for everything that they do.
Absolutely. And I want to say thank you to them too. They're so encouraging when they're out there. And I was so appreciative of just seeing like I said, you guys are a family out there. And that's for sure. And when, I don't know how, for most people, when I go to someone's home and they, open their home to you and just treat you like family, and that's exactly what you all do. And I was so appreciative of it. So thank you for the experience. I can't wait to bring my group to you so that they can talk about it. And I'm sure this will fast become a yearly thing that we do. So thank you, thank you,
thank you. Thank you for having me today. This has been great. I was super nervous to start.
You killed it. Are you kidding me? You have an amazing job, but beyond that, you're an amazing lady and you bring so much joy to so many people. And your story is very interesting. I love how you got your start, and I'm looking forward to our friendship continuing to flourish.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, as I always say before I head out, you know what? Take care of each other, but more importantly, take good care of yourself.